Hi, my name is Jacqueline, and I work with Insight Consulting. Insight Consulting is a management consulting company that provides various different services, and for local government, we work in transformation, service delivery, operational improvement, and organizational development. Our imprimatur is to assist local government to improve the delivery of their services and to understand what matters most to various stakeholders. Our services are underpinned by the following tools, practitioners, and objectives. We use capability assessment, diagnostic tools, operational models, coupled with industry experienced practitioners, so subject matter experts. This means that you can identify key metrics that define your business landscape and operational effectiveness, prioritize resources by business values, optimize and align the performance of your employees to your processes, systems, and structures, have a clear focus on bottom line results. Our library service reviews are both operational and external. In the operational space, for internal services, we look at risk management, program and project governance, culture audits, organizational development, procurement and supply chain, strategic communication and community engagement, asset strategy, IT strategic reviews, and business case reviews. In terms of external service reviews, we look at library services, waste services, water and storage, maintenance services, capital asset strategy, event services, managed recreation facilities, open space maintenance and property services, and so on. We understand that local government is one of the largest providers of services to the community, and it's incredibly complex. Typical key priorities for local government include frontline service delivery, social and community outcomes, recovery and infrastructure programs, revenue and funding arrangements, governance and accountability, community and community development. And of course, there's an ongoing input into continuous improvement. So council looks at how they do their services and they look for activity improvements, cost savings and income generation. They look at their service level optimization. And of course, they're constantly looking to improve efficiency and resource usage. And the question is, how is this done, at what standard, and at what cost? So this particular presentation is focused on library services. So library services in 2021 is there to enhance social and economic participation in the community by offering modern, accessible building facilities and improved access to digital resources. They provide a workspace for telecommuters. They provide free internet access, access to literacy and literature. They improve literacy by providing various forms of literature, which leads to education, skills development, and jobs outcomes. They have democratic access for all people, including people with disabilities. They provide venues for local events, special hubs for young mothers and toddlers, and they provide various forms of training. Examples include interview techniques, language classes, the list goes on. In terms of their community objectives, they look to position libraries as valued destinations by the community. They try to align their resources and services with community needs and aspirations. They ensure a customer service focus which is responsive to changing needs and technology. They aim to locate libraries in highly visible and accessible locations to increase usage. And they deliver programs and services focused on community learning and engagement. In terms of some of their operational objectives, they look to develop mutually beneficial partnerships with other community service providers. They aim to maintain a highly skilled staff focused on common outcomes, promote a culture among staff of continuous improvement. They are constantly looking at effective strategic and operating planning. And of course, they look to run their functions and services in a cost-effective manner whilst maintaining their assets with efficient fiscal management and administration. Some of the challenges for libraries to stay responsive to community needs can actually be put into various different buckets. I've just kept this fairly high level and sorted out into two main ones. And then the only one that I talked to here in relating to staff is where they look at how they provide assistance for people with complex needs that need assistance from specialist staff such as social and youth workers. In the electronic realm, they're constantly trying to provide a dynamic technology environment, which means licensing access and quality range of e-content. They are trying to provide tools and mechanisms to search the e-content. They provide delivery informants to use on any device. There's ongoing increased pressure on their finances, staffing resources. They have to deal with population growth and changing demographics. And of course, the social trends necessitates the development of a sustainable and cost-effective service delivery model to retain the relevance of library services. In the physical realm, these days, they provide new and renewed library infrastructure and up-to-date layouts and fit-outs that facilitate social engagement. This, of course, means that they need to have library infrastructure funds. The design needs to be accessible to meet appropriate standards for people of all abilities. They need to demonstrate flexibility in meeting the long-term needs of the community, and of course, to incorporate principles of environmental sustainability design, such as use of recycled renewable materials and improved energy and water efficiency. In terms of how we go about our projects, we start by trying to understand your situation when it comes to social capital, education, and economic development, how you meet regulatory requirements, how you meet the growing community expectations and needs, and of course, how you're meeting your financial sustainability. In terms of library challenges, there's an ongoing funding requirement to meet, again, the growing needs of your community with increased opening hours, improved collections, and more specialist staff support. Management considerations are things like service and activity improvements, cost savings and income generation, and of course, innovation. In terms of how we do service reviews, we review the service, of course, but we're looking to identify potential service delivery improvements. What a service review is not, it's not implementation, but we will outline a list of recommendations. We're looking to suggest performance improvement and identify areas that can be improved. And of course, we look at how we measure costs and identify opportunities for savings. In terms of the purpose and benefits of library service reviews, we look at the role and relevancy of library services, the strategic service delivery framework, your technology environment, finance, staffing, service level adjustments, alternative modes of service delivery, improved resource usage, all of which is leading to your desired community outcomes, such as support for culture and community, nurturing artistic endeavors, improving general confidence, how people apply what you're providing and awareness, civic community engagement, digital learning, economic development, early childhood literacy, job skills, and the support for mental health by reducing social isolation. Some of the operational outcomes include financial sustainability to deliver the services, ensuring that services remain relevant and aligned with the wants and needs of local communities, and building a continuous improvement culture. We look at the model of delivery for the services, and this tends to relate to all services. So we look at the purpose of the service and the way the organization delivers the service. We look at how the activities are divided, integrated, and coordinated. We look at your formal procedures for measurements, reward, and resource allocation. And then in terms of the people side of things, we look at your implicit and explicit fundamental beliefs, so the culture that underlies the particular function and the organization's core competencies and distinctive capabilities to deliver the service delivery staff, capability, resources, demographic and educational and attitudinal characteristics, the typical behavior patterns of key groups such as managers and other professionals. The next 2 slides will just cover our general considerations and how we go about a review. We look at the overall budget or cost of service, the degree of discretion over the service, internal and external customers, the potential to generate expenditure savings, the potential to generate additional revenue, learning as an attitude and learning from failures, potential to adjust levels of service, potential to improve efficiencies, alternative methods of service delivery, improving environmental and social outcomes, potential to reduce duplication of services, and the potential to grow or commercialize the services. So right from the start, we look at the priority for the review and the purpose for the review. We define the scope and the objectives of the review. We review levels and standards of the service. We look at stakeholder engagement. We benchmark against other organizations. We examine organization structure and key cross-functional processes. We define and determine enablers and requirements. We determine the resources used to deliver the service and the organizational structure. We assess the results gained from the service. We analyze the full cost of delivering the service, including funding, fees, and charges. We review key performance indicators and rank opportunities for improvement. In terms of libraries, we look at the smart technology that they use, the technology tools, what they use in the cloud, digital displays, and computers and wireless technologies that are being used to provide the service. We look at your customer segmentation, your demographic, how you engage with your community, how you provide lifelong learning and participation, and your public image. So how you serve the general public's information needs, the way you provide well-designed public spaces and places to relax with exhibition spaces and meeting rooms, and how you can become a community hub or have already become a community hub. We look at how customer satisfaction is delivered. So libraries are, of course, there to inspire learning. So we look at how you provide the delivery, the timeliness of the delivery, the types of information that you provide, the professionalism that it's being provided by, and the emerging trends. And some of these emerging trends you might already be involved with. People are now gravitating towards maker spaces, very user-focused interfaces, lots of digital displays, poetry slams, book launches, which you've been doing the whole time, conversational cafes, manga clubs, and coding workshops. We look at the various types of stakeholders that impact on the operations, the internal stakeholders, the external stakeholders, and community stakeholders. And just to give you an idea, our information gathering tools are desktop reviews, stakeholder analysis, interviews, workshops, risk assessments, and various different types of surveys as required. And of course, as part of the review, we're looking at what you're doing now and where you want to go. This slide just gives you an idea of a sample project team structure. So you've always got your project sponsor, you've got the inside delivery team and your internal delivery team, and of course your external stakeholders and your internal stakeholders, and your council governance group that governs this particular project. This slide just talks to how we go about establishing a project. We look at the building blocks of how we set up the framework, then we establish the project, we gather existing information, we analyze the information and the services, we deliver the draft report, we make revisions, and then deliver the final report. This slide just gives you a little bit more detail in terms of how we go about a service review. So when we develop a framework for the review, we look at the objectives, the scope, the resources. We identify the review team and review priorities. We identify the stakeholders, and then we finalize the project plan. In the information gathering phase, we do stakeholder interviews, online workshops, or face-to-face workshops. We do data gathering and discovery, and we identify the main service and the various different sub-services. The next phase is analyzing the services with various different buckets of information, including financial analysis and risk assessment. We provide a draft report, gather feedback on the draft report, and then provide the final report, at which time we close off the project. So, why work with us? We have subject matter experts that have broad and deep knowledge in the various different spaces. We have a very, very hands-on approach. Insight Consulting has been operational since 2008, and we've all worked together in that time. So you've got a collaborative working environment. Some of the services that we provide for local government and how we go about it is we make sure that it's easy for you to do business. We tailor our solutions to fit, so it's always fit for purpose. We are focused on providing you with a sustainable outcome. We have processes to provide knowledge transfer based on availability of your staff to do this. And of course, we're highly focused on making sure you receive value for money. So we look forward to getting more questions from you about how we might go about a library service review and what next steps might be like. Thank you.